Everyone. So today I want to start um, a new, almost I would say a masterclass on receiving, on abundance mindset, on all things around blocks that are stopping us from making money, from retaining money, and growing money. So, welcome everyone who people who have been following me. This is a new masterclass for all of you and people who are new to this video. I am Anisha Dutt and I am a healer and a life spiritual life coach, and I've been working for the last over a decade now with folks all around the world. And I'm more than happy to help you, guide you, and empower you to understand the basics of energy work, right? So I work with folks one on one in for coaching, for healing, be it distance healing or be it business coaching. And there is one particular issue that has been coming up again and again for many of you, right? And that is what an abundance mindset is. Yeah. So, I don't know if you all understand what the process of an abundance mindset is. And first of all, so many of us, there's the sun coming on my face. So, now what happens is many of us think that, these are the rules that we have when it comes to being abundant, like developing a mindset. Yes, I agree that everything that's going on in our life are our thoughts and our emotions, right? Our thoughts and our beliefs. And however, when we talk about specifically abundance mindset, I want you all to understand that this is not just a mindset, this is like a way of living, right? I cannot just tune in from this to that, right? I kind of have to embody this in order to experience it, right? Now, a lot of folks feel a lot of stress when it comes to abundance mindset, and they are in that scarcity mindset. However, they feel or they think or they assume that they are in the abundance mindset instead. And that's not true. So I want to kind of clarify what is what, and just so that you are able to understand it better. Okay. Now, I want to start the emphasis on of kind of this masterclass. I think this is going to become a masterclass because I just wanted to share the definitions and what really truly, you know, is a mindset of abundance and scarcity. However, I feel like there is a big component of our nervous system, our body, that I want to discuss today. And that will probably take some time. All right. So, before I dive into what is a scarcity mindset, I want you to understand a little bit about our bodies. Because what happens is that when we start working, when I'm coaching people, right? I I see how disconnected folks are from their own bodies. They think that there is this concept called abundance, there is this concept called scarcity. Let me learn about it, and then let me apply a few techniques, and it'll be sorted. Very they kind of alienate themselves from the process. They think that the process itself is going to fix everything. However, I want you to understand your own participation in this process and how imperative it is, right? And that's where your body comes into being, right? And for that, this is my own um you know I would say, I don't even know if it's a drawback or not, but I really need to share. I hope you can all see now. I need to share my screen because somewhere I feel like every time, I talk about body work, I really feel like it's important for all of you to see this. Okay. So I hope you're all able to see it. Let me see my screen. View. Okay. So I hope you're all able to see it. Okay. Now, if you look at the screen, right, you can see that there is your mind, your body, and your soul, isn't it? Right? A lot of emphasis is always on the mind, right? Do this, do that, all of that. However, do you realize, let's see in the next one, if this is your body, okay, this is your nervous system, okay, this is your brain, these are all your nerves, right? Let me see. When we specifically talk about your brain, right, you have these parts. You have your frontal cortex, you have your amygdala, you have your hippocampus, right? Now, what happens with your creative brain, right? And what happens with the amygdala and what happens with the hippocampus? So, as you can see, the creative part of our brain, it's responsible for focus, decision, visualization. So all the things that we talk about, so when we're talking about affirmations, when we talk about visualization, then this part of our brain gets activated. Okay, all the core aspects of manifestation, right? However, amygdala, which you can see, that is our emotional brain, right? Every time there is any trauma response in our body, amygdala actually blocks the prefrontal cortex from focusing on new possibilities. You see? So, what is happening is like, and the hippocampus campus also works with the prefrontal cortex to visualize, right? And turn imagination into felt possibility. So, here we are thinking about let's do affirmations, let's do this, let's do that, right? To change our mindset. However, our brain is functioning in a way where if we are feeling trauma, if you're feeling scared, if you're feeling fear, amygdala actually stops these two parts of our brain from visualizing. Why? Because amygdala is telling your brain right now we need to focus on survival. So when we are focusing on survival, we can't think about, oh, let's manifest this, let's think of a beautiful future. We need to survive right now. If we do not survive right now, we'll die. Okay, keeping all of this in mind, now let's go back to our nervous system. Okay, there is the central nervous system, there is a peripheral nervous system, part of the nervous system, right? Central is brain and spinal cord, peripheral is somatic, autonomic, right? Within somatic, you have sympathetic and parasympathetic. Yeah. Now, let's come to the trauma responses, right? Which also then creates our cortisol. What is cortisol? Stress in our body, right? We can have these trauma responses: fight, flight, freeze, fawn, right? Now, we all know trauma responses can come from our childhood, can be so embedded in our DNA. It could come from our generations, our ancestors before us, all of that. That is true. Okay. Now, we also know that trauma can be in different shapes and forms, right? It is a survival pattern, right? And when we are in a trauma response, in a survival pattern, our manifestation gets blocked, right? So, as you all know, if you look at a few generations before us, right, when we were in the jungle, and then, and looking for food, if there was a tiger, that was a period of when we would go into a trauma response, right? Which would probably be flight or freeze, right? And in that era, it was supposed to be for a few minutes. Now I'm forgetting if it's 3 minutes or whatever. And within that, we are in the survival mode because we literally have to run away or protect ourselves from that tiger, right? And then once we are in the safe space, we again move from our survival state to our safety state. Okay. This was how a body was supposed to be. Okay. Now, so, however, now what is happening? Now we are not in the jungle. Now, what gives us stress? There are a gazillion things, right? You are scrolling through your phone and you see a reel which probably reminds you of your boss, and you go into your survival state. You are scrolling and you see some sort of a news thing and you go into a survival state. Nowadays, we are constantly in that survival state. Whereas it was only supposed to be for literal survival in the jungle when you see that animal or you're being attacked or whatever. And then you were supposed to go back to your, uh, safe space, safety, right? And only when your body is in that safety can you actually manifest. But nowadays, what's happening is we are constantly in our survival state, because of which our amygdala is closing out our prefrontal cortex and we are not able to manifest. You see? So do you see this is a part of one of my classes, and I'm just trying to figure out what else I need to put in from here. Yeah. So I think that's it. Okay, from at least from this thing. Now, so you understand now what is happening? Your body itself is not allowing you to manifest every time you are in stress, every time you are in survival state, right? So you understand how important it is for you to feel safety in within your body, to relax, for your amygdala to feel like you are safe, and for it to allow your other parts of your brain to start visualizing and actually manifest things. However, coming back to our current reality, we are constantly in negative thought forms, negative loops, thinking, catastrophizing our futures, catastrophizing our present, overthinking about our past, and reimagining all sorts of um, dangerous, negative situations in our minds, right? Which actually doesn't allow our body to feel like it is safe enough to now start manifesting. You see? So here you are wanting to manifest, however, constantly your body is in survival state. So I wanted to explain all of this because this actually will help you understand where the scarcity mindset comes from. Now I can get into the scarcity mindset, the understanding of it, right? So this scarcity mindset, like I said, it's not really a mindset, it's like a mode. It's a person, it's like your being. You embody it, right? Let's talk about where that comes from. Okay. Now, a scarcity mindset is not about money. Okay. It is about survival mode, right? Developed when the system learned things. Say, it could probably develop mostly when you were a child, right? Below the age 10. At that moment, you were growing up. Maybe you didn't have money. Maybe you didn't have resources, right? And you were constantly told that you should be very you should take care of whatever you have, because in the back of your mind or you've been told that even this can be taken away. So scarcity then brings you to that energy of holding on to things, protecting. And when you are doing all of this, why are you doing all of this? Because you are insecure it will be taken away. So then you are in survival mode, right? Because it's like maybe for you can think of when in that area when you were in maybe a jungle, right? And you have you have some maybe cows, right? And you're trying to protect the cows because you're scared that the tiger will come, or whatever, some predator will come and eat it, right? So you're constantly protecting it, right? Because you are insecure that it will be taken away, and if it's taken away, then you have nothing to eat, right? So that is your scarcity mentality, which you probably um, learned when you were a child. Okay. So, what are the traits of being in this mode? Constant fear of loss. I have this, but it'll go away. Insecurity around good things. So, you're feeling happy, but then you think that, oh my God, this happiness will be taken away. Right. Over preservation instead of enjoyment. So, you've gone out to eat, and it's amazing food, you're eating it, but at the same time you are constantly thinking, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, but what about the bill? But how much will I have to pay? What will I have to give in order to enjoy this? Right? Abundance will feel temporary and the body will be tense. Right? Another aspect of scarcity mentality. You will have a lot of difficulty receiving, right? Every time you have some free time, you will feel guilt. When somebody is giving you a compliment, there will be a lot of discomfort in the body. Okay. When there is a lot of money coming in, sometimes, sometimes you get a check, sometimes you get a gift, sometimes, maybe a relative gave you some money, whatever. You get some big amount of money, you will feel very, very uncomfortable with that amount. You will feel stressed. Why? Because your body is now in alert mode. This money can be taken away. Yeah. Whenever opportunities will come your way, you will overthink. Now what? Now what? Now what? Should I take it? Will it be taken away? Should I ignore it? Should I take it and then do this? And so you will not be comfortable with it because you're not used to it. Yeah. Receiving will feel unsafe because the nervous system doesn't know how to hold goodness. There is no space in your body to hold it. Another aspect. Now, when I say there is no space in your body, it means that your space is actually, the body is filled with stress. It's filled to the brim with stress. So you will easily get overwhelmed. Whatever happens, you'll react like this. Your tolerance level will be very low. You won't be able to take right decisions because you're constantly fatigued, right? And the body is always on alert. What is happening? What is this person saying? What is she saying? What is he saying? Why is he being nice to me? What is the agenda behind it? You see? So scarcity is not laziness, it's actually exhaustion, right? And then if you look at the emotional aspect, this person will always be angry, will always be in that withdrawal mode. So how people, there are certain people. Now, if you are in a scarcity mindset, you will not value people. Yeah. These are the kind of people who will hold a grudge with you very long time. Days, months, they'll hold a grudge. These are the kind of people who will give you a silent treatment. Have you met people who are not talking to you forever? That's because there is a scarcity mentality, right? They are holding on to the ego or whatever, some insecurity more than letting go and, being in that positive, uh, you know, mode. So even that is a scarcity mindset. Okay. Because why? Because this person is actually in a protective, this is their protective strategy. It's not a character flaw, defense mechanism, right? So survival that they learned early, right? What did they learn? Maybe they learned don't ask for more. Whatever you have, stay happy with that. First, give others, right? Sharing is safer than wanting. Wanting, needing is dangerous, right? So these are some rules that were usually formed in their childhood when resources, when love, attentions felt limited, right? So now what is happening is you probably grew up like this, right? But now you probably have more resources, you're learning new things, right? So now you cannot fight to heal the scarcity mentality. Because if you're going to fight and resist it, it's going to become stronger. So what you need to do is you have to actually slowly move from that survival mode to that safety mode. And the moment you start moving to that safety mode, the more your body feels safe. Like I said, the amygdala feels relaxed. You will naturally dissolve scarcity, right? Because the body needs to learn, I don't need to hold on so tightly anymore. It's okay to let go. So instead of saying I must eliminate scarcity, say I'm learning to live with abundance by building safety, right? Because scarcity is a mode, right? It's not a failure. So any of you would probably, listening to this and thinking, oh my God, I have this scarcity mentality, I'm there. It's okay. It's important for you to understand the bodily functions, right? It's also important for you to understand the importance of safety. Until and unless you feel safe, until and unless your body feels safe, you will not be able to open up to abundance. Okay. So I hope this was, you were able to understand till now. We have a body, brain, nervous system, spinal cord, all of that, right? They're all connected. Now, whenever there's a trauma response, which nowadays, earlier it used to be only for say 3 minutes, it was supposed to be like that. Most of the day should be in your safety mode. But now in our modern times, we are mostly in our survival mode and very rarely in our safety mode because we are constantly worried about an email. We are constantly worried about our bills. We are constantly worried about, our love life or our health, so many things, right? Or our parents' health or our lover's health, whatever. So there are so many worries that are occupying your brain. It's taking up space in the body. And when there is no space in the body, how will you allow abundance to come in? Your space, your body is filled with cortisol, your body is filled with stress. And when there is so much stress, your body is in alert mode. And at that time, the body has switched off manifestation because the body is saying, if I can't manifest right now, I need to survive right now. There is a tiger out there. I don't care about manifestation, right? So you have to understand this. And also understand why, if you're doing things around manifestation, and you're trying your best, you're taking all the courses, you're doing all your affirmations, but you're not doing but you're not acknowledging your body, then it will all seem very difficult. Then it will all feel very uh untrue, false, right? You will just say all of this is bunkum, right? Because the body work is missing, right? If you're stressed all day, you need to start looking into what is it that's constantly making you feel so unsafe. Is it that inner child? Is it another experience? Is it some belief? Is it your ancestral baggage? Is it something karmic? Whatever, right? And that's what we need to work on, to release it from your body and allow to create space for new things to come in. Because you're open to receive, suppose, right? But all your doors are closed. So what's the point of receiving? You won't be able to, it won't be able to enter your body. And that's what embodying actually means. So I remember when I started doing all of this, decade ago, and people talked about embodiment, right? For me, it was such an alien term because I had no clue about what it meant, especially when it comes to, body work. And now I can clearly see that it'll actually impact your health. You know, it's so important for you to understand that if you're stressed and if you're having health issues and if you're say having gut issues, so many things, right? Looking at all your chakras as well, how are they aligned in your body? You can clearly see how it's impacting the manifestation in your life, how your body is, and how things are manifesting, how abundance is coming up in your life. They're all connected. Yeah. So, this explains to you where the scarcity mentality comes from, how it gets developed, what's actually happening in the body that closes off all this receiving in our system, right? Now, let's go on to abundance mindset. What is that? An abundance mindset is not, excess or impulsive positivity. No, it is about capacity, trust, nervous system regulation. So when I say capacity, I mean, like I said, is there space in your body? Is there trust? Trust is safety. And is there nervous system regulation? Because abundance says, I'll figure it out. I don't need to panic. Right? So a person who would have an abundance mindset, they will not react. They will respond. When something comes up in their life, they will not lose their shit, like at the brink of it, right? They will think about it, they will relax, they will know that this is figurative. I'll figure it out. That's their attitude, right? So what are the core traits? One is they they are not looking for instant gratification. They have a long term vision. They have emotional stamina. They are not rushing to prove themselves, right? Or they're not rushing to grab things because they believe in that divine timing. They don't care about urgency. And this is something that I've been explaining to my clients for a long time, actually, since I started working, since I started doing healing. Most of them, would be like, when will I see results? When will I see results? But, when we talk about, I understand that you want to see results, but the irony is that when you are running towards the result, you're actually very desperate. You're insecure that you won't get it. And that's why you're like, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Because if you believed that you will get it, you wouldn't worry, you wouldn't question, you wouldn't be um, constantly looking out for evidences. You just know. And when you are in that state, you'll actually see instant results. That's the irony. So when you run after something, it's very hard for you to get it. Why? Because remember, you're running after it because you don't believe you'll get it. If you believe you'd get it, it'll actually run towards you. This is also a law in nature. If you look at um, small rivers, where do they flow to? Small, what is it called? Riverines, riverlets, something, just small rivers. They all flow towards the big water body, the sea, right? Sea doesn't need more water, but water is flowing towards more water. So money is going towards that energy of more money. The moment you feel lack, the moment you complain, the moment you think you don't have enough, you get more of not enough. You see? So that's where you need to tweak that abundance mindset thinking. And that's where people who have the abundance mindset thinking think like that. The second is these people who have abundance mindset, they are content, right? So contentment without settling. However, they are not completely they are, what's the thing? They're not satisfied with what they have. There is this hunger for more. They're constantly choosing more. However, They are very happy and grateful for what they have already. So I am already grateful for this pen. I'm very grateful for this pen. I am looking to build a factory of pens, maybe. But does that make the importance of this one pen any less? No, no. I am so grateful for all the permutations and combinations that led me to enjoy this pen when I'm writing with it, with the ink. I'm so, so, so grateful. And now I choose 100 more pens or a gazillion more pens. But when I'm choosing more pens, doesn't make the importance of this pen any less. Yeah. So that is what you do with an abundance mindset. Being grateful, santosha, being santusht with what you already have. You see? And that's very important. Because if you're not happy with what you have, the universe doesn't think that you'd be happy with more, right? Then, mm, this I think I've already said that when you are at that centered state of mind, you observe things around you, you respond intentionally, right? And you're not constantly, like I said, you're not constantly running after things. If you're just imagine if you're celebrating each moment. And I know a lot of folks think, oh my God, this is just, yeah, like this is just something that we say, right? But that's not true. If you uh, start enjoying every moment, then you stop living in the future. Most of us, whatever we are doing in life, we think if we were there, this would happen. If we lived there, this would happen. We are always ignoring our present, right? And we're constantly running after something. Something. It could be anybody. It could be a person. It could be a situation. It could be a win. It could be a house, whatever, right? And you're constantly thinking if that happened, then we would be happy. A person who's in abundance mindset, for them, every moment is beautiful. Every moment is magical. You cannot lure them with the future, with the bedazzled future. They don't. For them, even this moment is that beautiful, and that's what you need to. That's what being having an abundance mindset means, right? There's also my mentor was talking about this 120-second rule, right? So before you respond, you breathe, you let your nervous system settle, and you choose instead of reacting, right? Because abundance is all about that choice, right? So if you relax for 120 seconds before you respond, your body anyways relaxes instead of thinking of, oh my God, I'm going to do this and that and all of that, right? For you would see an abundance mindset, a person with an abundance mindset, they like I said, for scarcity, they will go to any extent to teach people a lesson, to give them a silent treatment. Again, I don't mean to say that people with abundance mindsets don't have boundaries. Instead, they have very good boundaries to the extent that they don't think that they have to create this drama trauma to feel important. You see, for them, it is more important to focus on themselves, their peace of mind. They are not constantly looking out for appreciation or validation because they know they are good. Not again from an ego perspective, but they are comparing themselves with themselves, right? And for them, creating drama trauma with other people is a waste of energy, waste of this beautiful time. They have such good boundaries that they will not waste time arguing or uh, telling people how bad they are. It doesn't matter. Instead, such people will actually have very beautiful relationships. Why? Because they focus on themselves. They're focusing on growing themselves. They are abundant. So people around them are actually like butterflies. They come to them like, like the butterflies come to flowers. Because this person is so, they are radiating confidence. They respect themselves. They respect their energy. And when they respect themselves, they automatically respect other folks. When you're not seeking validation from other people will anyways validate you, and it won't matter to you because you don't care. How does it matter what other people think about you? They are confident within themselves. And because they're confident within themselves, money will come to them, right? They know how to choose, and these people also know how to choose, and they also know how to let go. They know when to stay, they know when to release. When holding on is fear, and when it is not love. So they will not be around people who are disrespectful. They will not be around people who, and it's not even about making a big fuss about it. You just choose and you let go. These people are safe in their nervous system. And when you're safe in your nervous system, your ego relaxes and you don't no longer have a need to fight people because you intently listen to them. You respect them just the way you respect yourself. And that automatically builds amazing connections with folks. There is no need for you to control anyone because that safety already resides within you, right? So you will have a lot of space in your body, less overload, more containment, fewer things, but deeper fulfillment, right? And so abundance expands capacity, not clutter, not clutter at all. So actually, these folks, if you meet them, their mind is clutter free, their life, their physical space is also clutter free. Another aspect of scarcity mindset is you will have a lot of clutter. And that's coming from deep, deep insecurity of losing things, right? Another aspect of um, people who have abundance mindset, they don't over explain, they don't perform, they don't have to prove anything to anyone. They are very safe and very happy with their energy. They don't have to chase any sort of validation. Because when the self is anchored, your energy speaks. People around you will appreciate you. People around you will want to spend time with you. People around you will chase you. You are very happy and content where you are. People with an abundance mindset are also givers. Again, when I say givers, I don't mean they are not, they're only giving and not receiving. You can only be a great giver when you are also a great receiver, by the way. These people give from overflow, not obligation, right? Why? See, a very major difference between scarcity and abundance. Scarcity mindset folks will give, but they will give because they think when they give, they will get that safety feeling. Meaning, somebody will say, "You're so good, you're so hardworking, such a good girl, such a good daughter, such a good son," whatever, right? They're seeking that. They're seeking that to feel safe. That's why they're giving. That's scarcity. Abundance, they are giving from safety, they are giving from overflow. They don't care about receiving anything in return because they already have so much. And so, ironically, those are the people who will also get the money back, not only from those folks they are giving to, but also from the universe. And they will also get accolades because they are already feeling safe. And people from that scarcity mentality who give, it could be anything, giving your time, giving your space, giving your money, right? They are the people who actually don't get anything in return. They are running after people to get their money back or whatever, to get appreciation. And they are also the people who will be ignored by other folks. Why? Because they're seeking safety from them, from people who don't have safety themselves. You see? So there is also this like energy around safety that comes, right? Now I talked about giving. Okay. Let's talk about receiving. People with an abundance mindset, they will receive without guilt and they will spend without fear and they will enjoy without apology. Isn't that very, very interesting? How many of us, when we receive anything, do we receive without guilt? Tell me. Think about it. Think about it in life. You receive, even I myself, by the way, I have to think I have done so much work, but I still feel that whenever I'm receiving, say, even an upgrade for, like, say, clothes or, could be anything, right? Or like a laptop, right? I have to justify to myself that it's because of work or it's because of, because I did this. This mentality of I did this, so get this is guilt, right? Because you have to have that over explanation in your head that why do I deserve this? That's where your worthiness comes, which, by the way, is the next point. So, when was the last time you received without guilt? It could be an ice cream, it could be a home, it could be a car, it could be a pen, a compliment. Many a times when people compliment us, we say, "Oh no, no, this shirt is old, whatever," or "This is so and so." You kind of deflect that compliment if somebody's telling you you're looking amazing, right? Receiving blocks. When was the last time you spent without fear? I've spent this. Now I don't know where I'm going to get the money from. Or I know I will get the money wherever it is from. That's abundance mindset. And this one is really deep. When was the last time you enjoyed without apology? Just not doing anything throughout the day. When was it the last time? When was the last time you did not do anything to feel worthy? A person with an abundance mindset, they can have free time and they can enjoy also. They can go for a stroll, they can just sit and look at the gaze at the stars, they can just look at the beautiful birds, and they don't have to have a reason for that because for them, every moment is beautiful. That's abundance mindset. Because when they look at that tree, there also they see abundance. And when they look at gaze at the stars, there also they see abundance. You see? Now I'm going to give you two questions which will help you understand where it is that you have blocks and where it is that you need to start working on moving from scarcity mindset to abundance mindset. Okay. So the two questions. Number one, when I receive a lot, okay, when I receive a lot, now it could be anything. For somebody, it could be clothes, for somebody, it could be money, for somebody, it could be accolades, for somebody, it could be career opportunities, whatever, right? When I receive a lot, what makes me uncomfortable? When I receive a lot, what makes me uncomfortable? Okay. And the second is, why do I feel this discomfort? Like, what are the reasons you're giving yourself for feeling this way? So let me give you an example. Um, when I receive a lot of let's see. So I have a lot of, like, people probably will agree with this. People have a lot of subscriptions, right? So when I get a lot of subscriptions, like this and that, I start to feel very uncomfortable. Why? Because I feel like I don't deserve to waste money on on myself, on my entertainment. So you see, deservability came in here, and then you saw that you don't prioritize something, and there are so many aspects that can come out of these two questions, right? So wherever that discomfort is, now you kind of have to break it down. Of course, I do this work with one-on-one work with my clients here, because everybody will have different, and this is a big component of identity work that I do. All right. So you have to break down your beliefs now based on these questions. And when you start working on these parts where the discomfort is, that's where your identity will start to shift from scarcity mentality to abundance mindset. Yeah. And now I have a few more points. Let's talk about worthiness. Okay. What is, um, for a person with an abundance mindset, at its core, right? Abundance is the belief, right? I am worthy of what comes to me, right? Without any justification, without overgiving. I am worthy because I exist. That's how an abundance mindset person will think. For a scarcity mindset person, they'll think of 100 reasons of why I don't deserve it, or why I deserve it, or why I'm worthy, or why I'm not unworthy, or why I'm unworthy, right? Like, so many reasons. And by the way, the seed of this comes from, again, our childhood. Again, it could be ancestral as well, where there was a time when your mother or whoever your caretaker was, they started to conditionally love you. Meaning, when you're a baby, you're supposed to be unconditionally loved, right? Because you completely depend on that one caretaker, right? Especially around your mother, right? But maybe when you grow up, there is a time where there was this break where your mother, for example, said that you were a good boy or a good girl when you perform, when you win something, right? Win a competition. And suddenly that child now thinks that the love that they were receiving from this caregiver is conditional. And this concept of worthiness comes in, that I am only worthy when I win a competition. Then mama will love me. Then mother will look at me. Then mother will hug me. You see? So that's where it starts. And that's why inner child work is also so important. And I have a whole series, by the way, which kind of scratches the surface because it's very deep work. But at least you guys will understand if you do it, to see where all of this is stemming from. Right. And there could be so many other reasons as well. But that I've seen many a times, it comes from that. Right. So remember, just to conclude, remember that scarcity asks, what if I lose it? And abundance responds, even if I do, I trust myself to rebuild. That trust, that safety, that's your real wealth. Yeah. So I hope I was able to kind of scratch, I think, not just the surface, but go a little deeper to understand and to help you all understand what scarcity mindset is and what abundance mindset is, and how we can actually move our identity, shift our identity from feeling those scarcity thoughts to feeling, having developing an abundance mindset. So I hope this was helpful. Do leave your comments, do like, share, and comment. And I am hoping to bring more such classes for all of you in the future. Till then, signing off, Anisha from Zaria Healings.